Athletics by West Bend Insurance, First Source Bank, by IBEW, and by Papa John's. And now, live from O'Rourke's Public House, your host for the Mike Brey Show, Jack Nolan.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to O'Rourke's Public House for the Mike Brey Radio Show. I'm Jack Nolan, and for the first time in 3 or 4 years, not joined tonight by Irish head coach Mike Brey. Couldn't make it tonight, but he sent along a couple of his trusty assistants, former players, former Irish captains. In fact, Scott Martin, one of just 20 players in program history to be a two-time captain. Ryan Ayers, who is still fourth on the all-time three-point shooting percentage list.
Wow.
Which means you must have been going nuts at Virginia. As in the second half, it didn't drop so much. So, guys, welcome. Thank you. We always, at this point, get coach's temperature on the state of the team. So I'll start with him because he's been on the staff longer. But give me your thoughts right now. I know I just depressed you.
Yeah.
Did a little research today. Notre Dame is still in 7th place. 2 more wins, you'd be in 4th place. Of your seven conference losses, 6 of the losses have been by a total of 13 points, including 3 one-point losses. So you're right there, but haven't been able to close a lot of these games that would have helped a whole lot.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the frustrating part. I feel for our guys because they work really hard. They have great attitudes about them every day in practice, and they're great in the huddles. I mean, they really believe. And the ball just hasn't bounced our way at points throughout those games that you just mentioned. But I just like our fight. We're playing really well right now, whether it's against a fast-paced team like a Florida State or a slow-it-down team like Virginia. We're able to adapt and able to execute what we're trying to do and put ourselves to give ourselves a chance to win.
Now, Ryan is an on-floor assistant coach. Scott Martin came back to take a rebranded position. You are the team's development and recruiting coordinator. Explain what that involves.
Well, I'm still waiting for Coach to explain it to me. So, no, it's well. First thing is I handle most all of the video work. So that's been a little bit of a learning curve for me to just learn the software and all that stuff. But I've enjoyed it and getting more accustomed to how we do things recruiting wise and helping the guys and the coaches and trying to keep everybody organized and helping that way and itineraries and whatnot and just kind of learning as I go.
I know you said when you came back, it's like being at home, and I would imagine it would be because you got a 6th year. You were the first Notre Dame student athlete to get a 6th year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
You were the team's most valuable player back in 2012, and went on. I know you enjoyed playing over in Europe, mostly for the Newcastle Eagles in the British Basketball League, and you said that was a great experience. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I finally got myself healthy and was able to play about 5 seasons with no complaints from the knee. But I really enjoyed it. Met some great people, made some great friends, and people I still am in contact with today, and got to learn a lot and kind of push myself to be at a new place, a new country, experience new things. So it was really a great experience for me. And
after 3 years in Newcastle, you went to the Czech Republic for your last pro year. How was that different?
Well, they didn't speak English, so that was probably the biggest difference. Most countries over in Europe, you can get away with a little English. They didn't speak much at all anywhere you went. So, but it was a bit of a slower paced, more run your offense, traditional European. Run the play or get out. So it's a little different, but I enjoyed it. It was all in all, it was a great experience for me.
So your take, Scott, on where the team is right now?
I think, just like Ryan said, we're trending up. We've gotten better every game, and we weren't able to squeeze that last one out, but we were right there. I mean, losing an overtime game to Virginia is an accomplishment in itself. There's no moral victories, but you can take something away from it. We learned a lot about ourselves, and like Ryan said, we're good at adapting. We can win a slow, like Coach was saying, rock fight, or we can go out there and put 90 on the board. So I think it's a tribute to this team and these guys and how hard they work and how focused they can be.
Didn't want to slight your professional career either,
no.
although you've been out of school a little bit longer. Spent a couple of years as an assistant at Bucknell before coming back to Notre Dame, but you played in both France and Finland, in addition to the NBA D League. They've now changed the letter to the G League.
Right.
What was that experience? Especially you were bouncing back and forth from the D League back and forth to Europe. Was that hard to do?
I mean, I think there's different paths in everybody's professional career. I think that's Scott got in a great situation where he felt comfortable over in England and had 3-4 great years over there. I think we all wish we had a career like that, but it's just how sometimes professional careers go, where you're bouncing around, being able to experience new things, new philosophies on basketball. And I really learned a lot. A lot of what I've learned about coaching is what I've learned from those European coaches and players and things like that. So the G League was a great experience for me as well. You learn how to be a professional and what the NBA is about. It's like obviously it's the little brother program to the NBA, and everyone dreams about getting there. And I think it really, even now, 10 years later, they're really trending up and helping guys, achieve their dreams.
I think everybody who is watching and listening is aware that your dad, Randy, longtime Ohio State head coach, which is where you spent a lot of your time growing up, also coached the Philadelphia 76ers. Did you always want to be a coach, or is this something you came around to as your playing career wound down?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to go play, and I was able to live out that goal. And then I did always wanted to coach. My dad being a coach, but my mom being a teacher, them both being educators really had a big influence on me growing up. I always thought about, whether in high school or college, or how I would do this differently and how I would explain this to this player and vice versa, and the philosophies you kind of develop over the years. But just both my parents being educators really had an impact on me, and it's something I'm really glad I got into.
Well, I'm glad both you guys are here. Good practice for your eventual head coaching positions down the road, where you'll have to do some broadcast stuff. We're going to switch the focus back to where it usually is in this segment of this show, and that's on the players. And he didn't make headlines per se this week, but each and every night, and I never want to take this for granted, John Mooney comes to play and puts up ridiculous numbers. He got his 19th and 20th double-doubles this week in the two games against Clemson and Virginia, two teams that play slow tempo, pack line defense. He still combined in those two games for 27 points and 25 rebounds. He has a double-double in 20 of his 23 games this year. That's a double-double percentage of 87% of the games he's playing, and he's getting a double-double. That is the highest percentage of any player in Division I over the past 20 years.
Well, since Scott's probably the better rebounder, I'll let him comment, and probably more double-doubles than I ever have, so I'll let him comment first.
I'm not sure about that. But no, I think what Johnny's doing is amazing, and it just speaks to how hard he works. He really puts the time and effort in every day. He's one of the first guys in the gym, last guys to leave, and it shows in his game. He finds a way to make big plays for us, and he finds a way to keep us in games.
And he's also been working on his free throw shooting. He struggled at times this year. He's been shooting great lately. Missed a couple against Virginia, and he's still beating himself up, I know, about that. But you guys, when you look, the rest of the schedule really sets up pretty well. And we'll talk about the ACC Blue Bloods that you got to face this weekend. But there's still a lot that this team can do, and your senior leadership's been great. I would imagine you don't have any thoughts that those guys are going to crumble. How important, you're both captains, how important has the leadership of those three veterans, who I think have all played better than we expected this year, how important has that been to a year that has had as many frustrating losses? The only other season I can remember like this was the Chris Quinn senior year, when you were freshman, where you just couldn't seem to get over the top then either. You're winning more games this year. But other than that, these are the only 2 years I've ever been around that have been like this.
Yeah, I mean, Scott and I actually talk about this a lot, how important the leadership is. They direct the ship when they're on and they're focused and they're engaged. I mean, we can be as good as we want to be. And lately they have been. They really, especially our 4-game winning streak, even our game against Virginia, the talk has been great. The leadership has been awesome. Our huddles have been just tremendous with the talk we've been able to and the way we're communicating. And we'll go as far as those guys go. Those are our rocks, and then our super sophomores, as we like to call them, will fall in line and be able to make some plays for us.
A couple other things before we move on from John Mooney, but Alan Wazalewski, who is the athletic communications director for basketball, sent out quite a tweet string today about all the things that John Mooney has been doing. You can follow him at NDMBB Athletic Comms. I just picked out a few of them. He sent out about 10 of them. But right now, Mooney's averaging 16.3 points, 13 rebounds a game. Since 1996-97, only 2 players in major conference competition have done this. Tim Duncan and Blake Griffin. So he's also combined for 669 rebounds the last 2 seasons. Only 1 player in major college has more. Since Scott, as you have acknowledged, was the better rebounder, would you say it's harder to get rebounds than points?
That's a tough question. I think there's an art to getting rebounds, and I think it's a skill, but it's also something you're born with. I think you got to have a nose for the ball, and Johnny definitely does that. But at the same time, he puts himself in the right position. He can understand where the ball is going to come off and get himself to that spot. And I think that shows in his numbers, which are, as you said, are unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's more athletic than people give him credit for, too. I mean, I think people just think that he blocks people out.
Right.
But he can get up there, and he's also physical enough to clear that space. That may be the biggest challenge of all. You've got to be a man to be able to go in there and keep the other people away from the ball.
Well, one thing I would say is he is not deceptively athletic. I think he is as athletic as we have in this league. I mean, if you watch his explosiveness, his second jump, I think is extremely good. So I think he doesn't get enough credit in that category, and his numbers should do that for him, but for some reason they're not.
Another guy we should talk about, Rex Pflueger. Didn't score against Virginia, but had 5 assists, and he does all the little things. But boy, against Clemson, what a game. 18 points, which was a season high for him. He tied his career high in field goals with 6, only took 8 shots, hit all 4 of his threes, had 2 assists, and the 3 that gave you a 5-point lead with just a minute left, which ended a string of 5 straight points by Rex. You guys have been around. You've been around the whole time he's been here. You were watching from afar and then have been able to see him. But probably a fair question for you.
Right.
He's had some big games. I think that might have been the best game he's had in a Notre Dame uniform.
Yeah, I mean, completely, yes, especially from a statistical perspective, and then him able to make a key shot for us to win the game. Obviously, we all know he's a winner. He's made key steals or key stops, obviously a tip-in, a couple of those. But, I mean, he just really knows how to play the game. He thinks the game really well and is able to react. And another guy, when he's on and his leadership is there and he's locked in, I mean, he's as good as anyone in our conference.
Scott, you unfortunately are an expert at coming back from knee injuries. When you transferred from Purdue, you sat out a year, got ready to play, suffered the knee injury. When you got the 6th year, you lasted 18 games, and then the knee got cranky again. I'm leading this way because you know what it takes to come back from the kind of knee injury that Rex Pflueger did. Rex even told me November that he thought maybe he came back too quick. You really have to battle through it. When do you think he'll feel 100% again? Next year?
Yeah, everyone's different. For me, I don't think I ever felt 100% my entire time in an Irish uniform. So, but that was because I had lingering things and kind of kept injuring certain things. But for him, I think it's usually about a year till you really feel like yourself again. And really, the biggest hurdle is mentally. Your knee will be structurally sound, but you'll feel something and you'll start worrying about it again. So that's the biggest hurdle. Really, is the mental hurdle and just getting over that. And I think he's done a fantastic job. I mean, we showed him some clips the other day of him last year pre-injury versus him now, and you really can't see much of a difference. And that's kind of what we're trying to hammer home with him, like, hey, your body's good, like, go do it. So, and to his credit, he has.
Yeah, he's made some plays.
So basically what you're saying is you react to little pains and twinges differently that were always there, but you react to them differently after you've had the knee injury than before.
Absolutely. You feel everything after the knee injury. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Oh, no, that's okay. All right. Yeah, it's just constantly in your mind. So I think the biggest hurdle is to just get over that, and then you're good to go.
When you went to the smaller lineup on a more regular basis, you started scoring more points. You were second in the league, both in league competition and overall in scoring behind Duke before you ran into the 2 pack line teams this week.
Right.
You're still third in the league and 4th overall. But even though you went small, one guy who I think has consistently been getting off to a great start recently has been Jawan Durham. He had a decent week for you guys. In the 2 games this week, he made 6 of his 9 shots, scored 14 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, dished out 4 assists, blocked 2 shots. Now, in the game against Virginia, he did all of his scoring and rebounding in the first half. And that's also been maybe a bit of a flaw. He comes out and he's productive early, and then he gets into that rotation. When he's put back in later, he hasn't been able to be as productive. So you work with the big. Well, you have more of a big guy mentality. You can't work on the court with him. What does Juwan need to do to take that next step where he is consistent from beginning to end, like he was, say, at the Florida State game?
Well, I think, again, a lot of it is mental, but at the same time, you have to account for other teams making adjustments. When Juwan is hurting other teams early in the game, whether we're getting screen and roll and him getting easy post-ups, they're going to adjust to that. So they're going to start worrying about that, and that's where our smaller lineup comes into play, and we can get more movement out of those guys and free up our shooters a little bit. So it's not all on Juwan in that aspect. Right. So, but for him, yeah, it's just to keep focused and keep working at it, and he will, and he has. I think he's responded great over the last couple games.
You work with the guards. You've got a pretty good guard tandem. It was good to see at Virginia that Road Dogg Prentice Hub came back. If anything, I thought maybe he should have shot more, but it's hard to get shots against that defense. TJ was very good against Clemson, but the one thing that happened this week that hadn't happened for about 3 weeks was they didn't play exceptionally well together, both putting up points on the board. When they do that, you're almost unbeatable. So can you get them back there, guard coach?
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Absolutely. I mean, those guys are really hungry and love to work, and they have great attitudes about them. And when you combine all that together, good things will happen. And I'm sure that they'll respond great on Saturday, respond great on Monday to play together. All they want to do is win. I know they don't really care how it's done as long as we get the W at the end of the day. But they have great minds about themselves, and I'm looking forward to Saturday for them.
Irish fans, you can experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell your tickets. Vivid Seats helps you see more and sit closer all season long at vividseats.com/UND. We have some questions for our pair of coaches, and we'll get to those right after this timeout. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
There's no doubt education costs have become overwhelming and continue to spike. Unless you choose to earn while you learn as an apprentice with the electrical workers of Local 153. Instead of spending $20,000 a year, often leaving school with a debt, you'll earn an annual package worth over $70,000 while you earn your associate's degree and the skills to be an IBEW electrician. Contact the South Bend Electrical Apprentice Training Center at JATC153.com and compare. Huge cost with no guarantee of a job versus earning $280,000 and training for the future.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss your chance to experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell tickets to any event. Home games, on the road, even sold out games, no problem. And every transaction is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Vivid Seats lets you see more and sit closer all season long. Support the Fighting Irish with tickets from the official ticket marketplace, Vivid Seats. Available now at vividseats.com/UND.
You know, a lot of banking apps let you do the same things, like check your balance in your PJs, deposit checks during your workout, and transfer funds from, well, anywhere. But because we're a trusted bank in the neighborhood, the First Source app comes with a walk-in option, so you can talk face-to-face, not just face-to-phone. First Source Bank.
Member FDIC. Download the First Source app on the App Store or Google Play.
At St. Joseph Health System, every hand held, every story told, every tear shed, smile shared, and spirit lifted stays in our hearts forever. We're blessed because every day we get to make a difference in people's lives. To learn more, visit sjmed.com. St. Joseph Health System. We are called to care for you.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by the experts at TireRack.com. Coach Brey not able to make it tonight, but we have a couple of his trusty assistants here, and Ryan Ayers and Scott Martin, and the nice crowd it turned out tonight on a chilly South Bend night at O'Rourke's. have submitted some interesting questions, and this one's rather appropriate.
Okay.
It's about warm weather. Sarah Duarte of Newport Beach, California, would like to know, how many Hawaiian shirts does Mike Brey own?
Probably more than we think. I don't know. He does like warm weather.
He took it all off, didn't he? He took the
one
off.
He
So
took a point. Threw that away. He does like warm weather. I will say that. How many do you think he has? I'm going to go with a full 7-day rotation.
Really? Right. If he's listening, he's wincing right now.
Yeah.
Jerry Liss of South Bend comes to every show. What one thing stands out to you about the game against Virginia?
Coach?
One thing?
One thing.
You know, as a coach, you never can just pick on one player, one thing. I'll save you. Yeah, what you got?
Defense. It was a defensive struggle.
Yeah,
the only thing you can think about with that game for me was on both sides.
Right.
Yeah, you did give Virginia a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah.
There's no question. Even in the overtime, fortunately, you only scored one field goal, and it was by Hub. Mm-hmm. You held them to no field goals.
I know.
They just had the 3 free throws, and that was a determining factor. Brandon Liss also here. Guys, do you have any predictions for the NBA Slam Dunk Contest this weekend with Pat Connaughton involved?
Well, I heard he reached out to Kristen Yelich, so I don't know if he's going to incorporate baseball in some way. I don't have any insider info, so but that's what I saw on the social medias. So
that's a
well, he is a baseball pitcher, but you still how could you pitch it and dunk it?
That's interesting.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I have to DVR that.
Yeah, go Pat.
Yeah.
Landon's here from South Bend. Has playing for or coaching for Notre Dame been more fun? So I think the question is, which is more fun, playing for Notre Dame or coaching for Notre Dame?
Playing.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Much rather play for Coach. He's the man.
Folks, I don't know if you know, but the managers have a tradition of when they arrive in town, they play the other team's managers, but each side can bring ringers. And sometimes these two guys walk in with the Notre Dame managing squad, and you win most of those games, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Coach Atkins has served in that role. I play occasionally. Scott is
I played most of them this
big
year.
Time in it. I mean, he's locked in.
I'm not as much as Coach Atkins was. I heard he really took it seriously.
Yeah, he shot every time, so it's really hard to play with him.
Zach Hillisland, my analyst, has also played at times. And you guys have at least stayed healthy, because we've lost a manager each of the last few years, and it gets rather ferocious. Apparently they call the games the same for the managers as they do for your guys.
I think so, yeah.
And this is an officiating question, but it's not going to put you on the spot, because I would never put you in that position, especially as not the head coach. But Jeanette would like to know, not to belabor the point about officiating, but have the rules become so complex that they are impossible to master?
Yes.
That's a very good question.
That's a great question.
There is a lot going on in those games.
Right.
A lot to think about, and it makes their jobs extremely difficult, in my opinion. There is a lot going on,
especially in live action. Like, it's hard to really see everything.
Now, you may disagree with this, because you were really good at taking charges. I'd love to get the block charge out of the game.
I hate it. I hate it.
It's too hard to call.
Right.
And I'd like to take that contact out of it. When you start to drive to the basket, no one should be able to get in your way. It's about, and it's not basketball in my mind. I'm older than you guys by a lot, but I mean, even I grew up in the 70s watching the Celtics, who were the only team playing team basketball in the league, but it was a much prettier game.
Right.
You'd run off a screen. If you got the opening, you went and you laid it in. People weren't jumping in your way to see if they could knock you over or knock them over. That part, the bang bang, I always try to remind folks, who'll say, well, they blew that, but I've just watched the replay in super slow motion 3 times, and they had to call it right there.
And I think it would cut down on injuries. Less guys undercutting each other and, what have you.
Well, and contrary to popular belief, I don't blame lots of stuff on the officials. I try, and in fact, if I'm going to mention it, I want to make sure it's heinous. When John missed the 2 free throws against Virginia, it said foul on John, because it kind of looked like a foul to me as well. Then I watched the replay, and it wasn't, but that's the situation the officials are in. If you had a certain angle, it looked like he did knock over the Virginia player, when in fact the Virginia player just slipped and in fact may have fouled John trying to get to the ball.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's just how it goes. For John to go for that, I think they weren't going to reward a play like that, unfortunately, with the right call. But just how it happens sometimes, he shouldn't have ran in and put himself in that position.
As both players and now coaches, How much is earning the foul? Is there to that, making the right play, being the aggressor? Does that give the player in that position more of an advantage as to how they're going to call a foul one way or the other?
I think it varies from night to night, game to game. It's hard. You know, when you ever have the human element, it's tough. Everybody's different, and everybody sees things differently, and the angles are all different, you know. So I'm not sure if it does or doesn't help you. You
both played in Europe. How's the European game different? First of all, just the way it's played on the floor. How is it different?
I mean, I thought it was a little more physical.
Yeah, that's the first thing I would think is it's much more physical.
I think we were both a little used to that, being in the Big East a little bit, which is different from this league. But, you know, the footwork is a little different, and the way you handle the ball, especially out of a pivot situation. They called a lot more travels in certain areas. Maybe they might not call it here in America. But, yeah, you can get away with a little more physicality. Yeah. There, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, was the officiating noticeably different, or they just let you be rougher?
I thought it was quite a bit different. I could tell right away. The stuff they kind of let you do. The big thing, they like to get Americans on traveling. They love that.
Yes, they love that. That's a good point.
They love to do that. So that's the first thing you got to learn when you get over there is watch your feet.
Watch your feet. Have great feet.
But they enforced it more on you guys than they did on your teammates.
No comment.
No, yeah, right.
Well, they can't find you now.
Yeah,
hey, you never know.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, I just thought some of the I did not agree all the time with their officiating, but that was just me being competitive, I think.
Malcolm's here from Mishawaka with the three-point line moved back. Does it surprise you that your numbers for your team have improved from last year with the deeper arc?
Does it surprise me?
Yeah.
That's a good question, but no, it doesn't surprise me. I think we have really good shooters, and guys are starting to get confident. One thing you learn about playing for Coach Brey, he's a great confidence giver, and once you see a couple go down, these guys work too hard not for them to shoot it well. It's just getting those game reps that we weren't able to. That year under their belt I think really helped them and made them a little hungrier. Scott,
you were also a good three-point shooter. Do you believe, I know you've gone out now and shot it. Is it a more difficult shot?
I think what would be interesting to see is if you looked at our shot chart from last year versus this year, how many of our threes we took were actually threes this year. Mm-hmm. I bet it would be more than we think. And,
right.
I think, like Ryan said, our guys can really shoot the ball, and they're confident shooting the ball, and Coach gives them that confidence. And so I guess to answer the question, too, no, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. Diane from Mishawaka has a question for you. Ryan wants to know, how much has your father encouraged you to become a coach?
Not encourage me. He asked me if I was crazy. Why am I so crazy to do it? I think more than anything, like, are you sure you want to get into this business? And of course, I wanted to. It's what I've known. It's kind of a family business, being an educator, being a teacher. But he's been a great mentor and advice giver to me, but never pushed it on me. Never pushed me to be a player, never pushed me to be a coach. It was something I wanted to do that I chose for myself.
All right, that'll do it for our questions here tonight on the Mike Brey Radio Show. Coming up, you're going to get to meet Elijah Morgan, Notre Dame's freshman guard out of the great city of New Orleans. That's coming up right after this timeout. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
A stylish new garage door can change the entire look of your home. At Industrial Door of Northern Indiana, you can choose from traditional carriage house or other striking residential looks that will update the curb appeal of your home instantly. Visit Industrial Door of Northern Indiana's showroom at 3839 South Main Street in South Bend, or view their entire gallery, including lifestyle overhead and Mystic motorized garage screen doors at industrialdoorni.com. Industrial Door of Northern Indiana, providing quality sales, service, and installation of commercial and residential overhead doors.
Hi, I'm Brock Zolman. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care has been family-owned for 40 years. What does this mean to you? It means that we're dedicated to our community and serving you like family. Zolman's Best One would also like to say thank you for voting us favorite auto repair for 16 consecutive years and favorite tire store for 3 years in a row. We also offer a wide selection of Bridgestone tires. Bridgestone tires at Zolman's Best One. Let our family serve your family. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care. Trusted community service for 40 years.
This week's restaurant of the week is the Chicory Cafe in Mishawaka. Get two $25 gift certificates for only $25. The Chicory Cafe in Mishawaka is a French Quarter-style coffee house with Cajun, New Orleans favorite dishes, vegetarian dishes, baked pastas, sandwiches, full bar, patio, and catering. Featuring locally roasted organic fair trade coffee, freshly made breakfasts, lunch and dinner, cocktails, live music, and more. Get your half-price gift certificates at restaurantoftheweek.com or the Chicory Cafe in Mishawaka. And as they say in Chicory Cafe, when was the last time you beignet?
Join us weekdays at 5 for Sports Beat with Darren Pritchett, ND Insider Eric Hansen, and Sean Stiers.
Well, if the Bears would have pared down a little harder in the draft a couple of years ago, they might have Patrick Mahomes on their roster. But Mitchell Trubisky is reality, while Patrick Mahomes at the age of 24 is a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP.
Budweiser's weekday Sports Beat, only on WSBT.
Mishawaka Barnaby's, serving Michiana's most favorite pizza since 1978. Some people say it's the sauce, others say the crust, and some claim it's the toppings. No matter the reason, their pizza is second to none, just like their sandwiches and salad bar. Come experience Mishawaka Barnaby's for yourself with dine-in or carry-out. Mishawaka Barnaby's, proud to support hundreds of youth and civic groups and nonprofit organizations. Mishawaka Barnaby's, at the corner of Grape and Edison. Get $50 worth of gift certificates now for just $25 at restaurantoftheweek.com.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, folks. Please welcome Notre Dame freshman walk-on guard Elijah Morgan. He's out of Jesuit High School in New Orleans. Elijah, thank you for coming by here, and you probably didn't hear it, and I'll pass this along, and then you can bring him back down. But Coach Brey told me a few weeks ago that if he was still at Delaware, you'd probably be his starting point guard. So you approach this as you were walking on. I guess we should point out you are on scholarship here at Notre Dame, not athletically.
Correct.
But you had a 4.4 GPA on a 4.0 scale, right?
Correct.
In high school. And he earned an academic posse scholarship, which includes pre-collegiate training, on-campus program, and a career program. More specifically, what does this help you do?
So basically, I guess I'll just give a rundown of what the scholarship is, because it's kind of confusing. But basically, the idea is that, so it's called the Posse Scholarship because the idea is a man in the late 70s dropped out of college and said that he wouldn't have dropped out had he had his posse with him. So basically, they send 10 or 11 kids from New Orleans to a university. So for New Orleans, every city has partner schools. So New Orleans had 4 partner schools. It was Notre Dame, Tulane, Case Western in Ohio, and Illinois Wesleyan. So you're supposed to be open to going to any one of those 4 schools. But that you are allowed to rank your preference, rank the schools based on your preference. So Notre Dame was my top choice, and then I had Tulane, then Case Western, then Illinois Wesleyan. And I always knew I wanted to play basketball. So paths just kind of crossed perfectly.
So are there 10 other students here right now from New Orleans?
There are.
So you guys hang out at times?
Yeah, we actually have mandatory meetings every Monday at 6. But other than that, they're some of my closest friends. I hang out with them, after practice or on the weekend, stuff like that.
So at which meeting did you first talk about snow?
Very first one, probably. That was the biggest, definitely the big. That's the first time I've seen snow is up here. We've had hail and sleet, but nothing compared to up here. So.
Now, Ryan, you coach the guards, and Elijah's been able to get in a few games. He's got a couple of free throws against Robert Morris, 1 assist each. Or I heard you like to call them dimes. You dropped a dime against Fairleigh Dickinson, Detroit Mercy, and Alabama A&M. Talk to me about Elijah as a player, because I know he's up against 2 really good guards. Yeah. He gets the best of them sometimes.
He does. He really challenges them. Elijah can play, man. He has been an unbelievable addition. I think I followed Notre Dame basketball a while, and he doesn't know. He is probably the best non-athletic scholarship player we've ever had, and he's only a freshman. He really works at it. He puts the extra time in, and it shows up in practice. Those obviously are more his games, and he really challenges our older players, and either with his game or talking trash. He's been an unbelievable addition for us on and off the floor.
For folks watching online, and you can watch the archive coming up right after the show, we're showing all of Elijah's assists. We showed his 2 free throws as well. Of the 3 assists, which one is your favorite so far?
Definitely my one to Juwan.
Yeah.
The no-look alley was just, I don't know, I just came off, kind of gave my man a move, and then I knew he was in the lane, so I just tried to no-look it to him. Threw it kind of far, but he's a big dude. So.
You clearly have adjusted well to college life and college basketball. What's been most challenging for you? Is it most challenging in the classroom or on the court?
Definitely for me, I'd say in the classroom. I was, prepping over the summer, workouts every day by myself and my dad with trainers, and I think that really helped me transition into college because I thought that was going to be the biggest thing for me on the court. And, of course, like on the court, I would say the main thing is the size difference.
Right.
But definitely in the classroom, college basketball is a different commitment than high school basketball. So I definitely do not have a 4.4. I don't have a 4.0. So I'm trying to get my grades back up to where they were in high school, but definitely in the classroom. And Notre Dame is such a great school.
So you're here and you're still playing, which means you got through that first semester,
yes,
which at this level, that's a pretty darn good accomplishment. Because there are some that don't always get through that first semester. Folks, we're going to be back with more with Elijah Morgan right after this timeout. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
A great kicker makes a 45-yarder look easy. But if you've ever tried kicking one yourself, you know it's anything but. A great insurance company works the same way. When something catastrophic happens, we make it right again. It looks almost effortless when done well. But try working with another insurance company and you'll find it's anything but. West Bend, the worst brings out our best. To find out more, visit thesilverlining.com.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting, or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Ashley is an athlete who is always focused on scoring the next goal. But when unexpected injuries happen, Ashley knows where to go. SB Ortho Now Walk-In Clinic, an orthopedic care clinic with same-day walk-in care for breaks, sprains, and sports injuries. Located in South Bend Orthopedics office at Douglas Road and 23 in South Bend. And open noon to 7 Monday through Thursday and noon to 5 on Fridays. No appointment needed means Ashley can be seen right away. Learn more at sborthonow.com.
It doesn't take a focus group to name a Papa John's pizza with 5 of our best meats. Just take a ginormous bite and blurt out the first thing you think of. Meats! With an S. Meats, plural. Used in a sentence, it would be like, holy cow, that's a lot of meats. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go enjoy the meats of my labor. Try large meats or works for just $12, only at Papa John's. Not valid with other discounts. Fees and taxes extra. Prices may vary.
We're back on the Mike Brey Radio Show with coaches Ryan Ayers and Scott Martin. Scott Martin is in charge of all of the video and player personnel development, right?
Yes. So it's an ever-evolving position that I'm still trying to get to know.
And doing it quite well, and I do appreciate it when you send me the links.
Hey, no problem.
I have to bring my DVD player. Remember, I need that Duke Florida State game.
I'm on it.
Also, Elijah Morgan is here from the city of New Orleans. I understand you also earned a varsity letter in football.
I did.
During your sophomore year of high school. What position did you play?
Wide receiver.
Ooh.
Slot receiver.
How many touchdowns you scored?
Well, sophomore year, the starting slot receiver tore his ACL, sadly. So I got in like halfway during the year. I was on the team my freshman year, didn't play. So I was thrown in there my sophomore year. I think I had 7 catches maybe. I mean, it wasn't like anything big, but I was in enough games to where they threw me in.
And you got the letter?
Yeah, got the letter, had a couple long, deep balls thrown to me, so, yeah.
What made you decide, okay, I did it, I'm not going to play anymore?
I was definitely in football practice, like, doing basketball moves, like shooting the ball, or just like thinking about basketball, and I knew that I wanted to play eventually college basketball, so I felt like the best decision for me was to focus mainly, put all my focus on basketball, so I stopped playing.
Now, you are the youngest of 3 brothers? Or
Oldest.
Oldest, I meant. Oldest of 3 brothers, 2 younger brothers?
2 younger brothers.
So what do they play?
My middle brother plays tennis, and my younger brother plays basketball. He's middle one's 16, so he's a junior in high school. The youngest one's 10. So.
Mom is Crystal.
Yes.
And your family likes male names that begin with E.
Yes.
Your dad's name is Ernest.
Yes.
You're Elijah, and your younger brothers are Ethan and Evan.
Correct.
That's cool.
We all have P middle names too.
Really?
Yes. EPM. Those are our initials.
So you guys can use the same jewelry.
Same jewelry, same everything.
Same everything, but you can't put your initials on your clothes because no one knows.
Nobody knows. But
what has? Well, you say, when did you know what you wanted to pick as your major? Because you're film, theater, and television.
I am. I'm currently film, theater, and television. I'm still very much undecided. Still testing the waters. I'm actually not taking a film and television class this semester. I'm taking a sociology class. I'm taking sports American history, sports management, so that touches on the business aspect. So I'm kind of all over the place right now, still trying to figure stuff out, just trying to see what classes I like, see what I want to get into. So film and television definitely, that was my one thing, but I don't know, after that first FTT class, I just decided to venture out and see what else might catch my eye.
Now, you explained how you got up here on the Posse Scholarship Program, one of the 4 schools in the program that you could have selected. But Southeast Louisiana offered you a scholarship, and I know some of Division II schools also reached out to you. Did you think about doing that, or what led you to Notre Dame? Was it the combination of the sports and the education? Definitely
the combination. So yeah, that D1 offer to Southeastern, that was definitely probably my second or third choice. I was definitely weighing, when it came down to the end, I was weighing the option between Notre Dame and taking that offer. I just felt like a degree from there wouldn't equal a degree from here, and I had to think beyond basketball, and I just made the best choice for me.
When you met the guys for the first time, what'd you think? How'd they make you feel?
To be honest, that was one of my worst fears, just getting there and like they were gonna like pull pranks on me and like I was gonna feel like a walk-on and stuff like that. But they were great. Like, I mean, we went to football games together. They like went out of their way to talk to me, and I mean, they're really like great guys. And I like appreciate that a lot, just because like my transition could have been way harder than it was. But they really I really appreciate what they did because it was very easy.
Ryan, when did you first learn about Elijah?
Well, if I'm correct, you reached out to us through email. Which was genius of you, with information and video. And so, Harold, Coach Swanigan really he looked at it and was like, man, this kid can really play out in New Orleans. We really need to take a look at him. We're going to need to add another player to our roster this year. And we all looked at the film, and he by far, he jumped off the page or jumped off the screen there with his skill work and his speed and just his able to get another. He's going to put pressure on our guards like we talked about, and that they were going to go against him every day. And that's kind of how it happened. And then Coach Swanigan had him come meet with him in the fall, and we had an open tryout, and he was by far head and shoulders above everybody else.
Now, did you enroll were you here in summer school?
I was not, no.
So the bio says you played some pickup games in the summer. Were you up here at all in the summer?
Well, as soon as I got here, so I think we had like 3 or 4 days before school actually started.
Right.
So he called me in like when I first got here, and we played.
Between you and Cormac, this might be the best non-active guard duo in the country.
If you consider Scott Martin a guard, the year
I thought you were going to take it a different direction.
I was going to give you a compliment.
Oh, I know, I got you.
But the year Scott and Ben set out my senior year was pretty good. But you're right. Other than that,
that's true.
These
that's
two.
True. I'm in active right
you're
now.
Right. You're right. They've been awesome in practice and really been. I mean, today we were going at them, weren't we? On the Blue Squad. Even I had to play today, so it was good.
keeping you in shape.
Yeah, it has been. It's been. I know Coach Martin's itching to get out there too, but
can't
right now. Yeah. So.
And in case anybody's typing the NCAA now, if you have injuries on your roster, an assistant can practice.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I know people are always on the lookout for things like that.
We're doing it right.
Well, I don't think Elijah knows about the fast break. I haven't been able to surprise anybody. But so you know you're going to have to run the fast break here, the verbal fast break. I ask you questions like, worst dresser on the team, and you get to answer.
Okay.
We're going to do that right after this timeout. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
South Bend Chocolate Company was recently voted Best Chocolate Shop in Indiana by online media company Mental Floss. South Bend Chocolate has the perfect gifts for all Notre Dame lovers. They have everything from Notre Dame Golden Domers 24-karat gold priceless chocolates to Irish-themed products like gold chocolate bars, Irish Crunch, Rockneys chocolates, Nuts for ND, and 5 varieties of Notre Dame coffees roasted fresh daily. Visit your local South Bend Chocolate store for all of your favorite Notre Dame chocolate treats.
Hi, I'm Brock Zolman. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care has been family-owned for 40 years. What does this mean to you? It means that we're dedicated to our community and serving you like family. Zolman's Best One would also like to say thank you for voting us favorite auto repair for 16 consecutive years and favorite tire store for 3 years in a row. We also offer a wide selection of Bridgestone tires. Bridgestone tires at Zolman's Best One. Let our family serve your family. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care. Trusted community service for 40 years.
A stylish new garage door can change the entire look of your home. At Industrial Door of Northern Indiana, you can choose from traditional carriage house or other striking residential looks that will update the curb appeal of your home instantly. Visit Industrial Door of Northern Indiana's showroom at 3839 South Main Street in South Bend, or view their entire gallery, including lifestyle overhead and Mystic motorized garage screen doors at industrialdoorni.com. Industrial Door of Northern Indiana, providing quality sales, service, and installation of commercial and residential overhead doors.
South Bend Chocolate Company was recently voted Best Chocolate Shop in Indiana by online media company Mental Floss. South Bend Chocolate has the perfect gifts for all Notre Dame lovers. They have everything from Notre Dame Golden Domers 24-karat gold priceless chocolates to Irish-themed products like gold chocolate bars, Irish Crunch, Rockneys chocolates, Nuts for ND, and 5 varieties of Notre Dame coffees roasted fresh daily. Visit your local South Bend Chocolate store for all of your favorite Notre Dame chocolate treats.
Join us weekdays at 5 for Sports Beat with Darren Pritchett, ND insider Eric Hansen, and Sean Stiers.
Well, if the Bears would have bared down a little harder in the draft a couple of years ago, they might have Patrick Mahomes on their roster. But Mitchell Trubisky is reality, while Patrick Mahomes at the age of 24 is a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP.
Budweiser's weekday Sports Beat, only on WSBT.
Folks, tonight's Mike Brey Radio Show is brought to you by TireRack.com, revolutionizing tire buying since 1979. You know they've got their game plan down. Their team of experts help you find, deliver, and install using a playbook full of their very own test results and consumer ratings and reviews that make buying a new set of tires as easy as a layup. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Now, you guys can help them if you want, because you'll remember doing this in your career. We've been doing this little shtick a long time, Elijah. Favorite musical group or artist?
Probably Drake.
Who is your role model?
My role model, my dad.
Twitter or Instagram?
Twitter.
Favorite thing to do when relaxing?
Watch movies.
First car you ever drove?
Honda 2006 Accord.
Favorite sport to play other than basketball?
Football.
Favorite part of practice?
5-on-5.
Worst part of practice?
Worst part of practice, walkthrough.
Best part of your game?
My shot.
Part of your game you need to work on?
Elevating or like getting my shot off in the paint against like big men.
City or place in the world you'd like to visit?
I would like to visit Europe. I don't know where. Probably like Italy.
Which is better, knocking down a long three, dishing out a terrific assist, or coming up with a big steal?
Long three.
One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice.
Stay solid.
The assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey.
Coach Bolanos.
Bing, bing, bing. See,
Bing, yeah.
It's gone away this year for the first time. We've had years where every player has said Coach Bolanos. Now we're back to that. I'm going to mention your staff coaches, assistant coaches, including the two here, and I want you to give me one or two words about each one.
Yeah.
Scott Martin.
He's very monotone.
Monotone.
But it's like funny monotone.
He's very funny. Very sarcastic.
Ryan Ayers.
Very enthusiastic about everything.
Ryan Humphrey.
I would say he's like serious a lot, but like then he's also joking. I don't know. I can't really tell him.
Harold Swanigan.
Clown. Clown.
And Rod Bolanos.
Very encouraging.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good.
Player on the team most like you.
I'd probably say Prentice.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
I think Cormac, C-Mac. I just like the way that flows.
Yeah.
Best player to room with on the road.
I room with TJ every time. I love it. I love it.
Toughest Notre Dame player to guard.
TJ's like big bodied me a couple times, but probably like Mooney when I get switched on in the post. I'd say Mooney.
All right. That is a little bit of a mismatch.
Yeah. Big mismatch.
Best defender on the team.
Rex.
Best leaper on the team.
Leaper. Robbie when he's healthy.
Best dunker on the team.
Robbie.
Worst dunker on the team.
Prentice.
Best dresser on the team.
Me. Can I say me?
Yes.
Me and Cormac are like tied.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Worst dresser on the team.
TJ.
Best singer on the team.
Singer. We don't have too many sing-offs.
Doesn't Mooney rap a lot?
Me and Rooney and Prentice rap. I don't know if that counts, but we have a little rap group.
How about worst singer on the team?
Worst singer is Prentice.
Yeah. Right, I got to go back to the best worst dresser. What was your reaction the first time you saw TJ's famous hat?
It was like the summer. Not the summer, but like when we first got here in August, and he was wearing it, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I just wear this." And then he has like a fedora that he wears, on Thanksgiving with the Ruth Chris. He had a fedora on. I don't know.
I gotta find the picture of Coach wearing that hat on the plane.
Oh, that's right, he did. He did put it on. That's like his comfort blanket, probably.
Best comedian on the team?
Me.
Guy who thinks he's funny, but he's really not.
TJ.
All right, and the final question. Free throw shooting competition. Who wins, you or Coach Ayers?
Me.
Oh. Ooh.
We'll have to play that out.
I see this big setup.
That's good. He's competitive. That's great.
Elijah, great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Mike Brey Radio Show right after this final timeout.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
There's no doubt education costs have become overwhelming and continue to spike. Unless you choose to earn while you learn as an apprentice with the electrical workers of Local 153. Instead of spending $20,000 a year, often leaving school with a debt, you'll earn an annual package worth over $70,000 while you earn your associate's degree and the skills to be an IBEW electrician. Contact the South Bend Electrical Apprentice Training Center at JATC153.com and compare. Huge costs with no guarantee of a job versus earning $280,000 and train for the future.
At St. Joseph Health System, every hand held, every story told, every tear shed, smile shared, and spirit lifted stays in our hearts forever. We're blessed because every day we get to make a difference in people's lives. To learn more, visit sjmed.com. St. Joseph Health System. We are called to care for you.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss your chance to experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell tickets to any event. Home games, on the road, even sold-out games, no problem. And every transaction is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Vivid Seats lets you see more and sit closer all season long. Support the Fighting Irish with tickets from the official ticket marketplace, Vivid Seats. Available now at vividseats.com/UND.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting, or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
I nicknamed this week the gauntlet. I think your boss got tired of talking about the 4-game gauntlet, but can either of you remember a schedule ever quite like this that a team had to endure in a 9-day stretch?
No, not
that I can recall.
We played a couple 2-game stretches that were pretty tough, Saturday, Mondays, but I mean, having 3 on the road and then come back and play Carolina, even though their record doesn't show. I mean, it's North Carolina. They're coached by a Hall of Fame coach, and they have some really good players.
Well, you got off to a good start with Clemson. You almost pulled off Virginia, which would have been historic since never won there. Get them next time. You'll be part of the time to finally go into Virginia and beat them. But now you've got the old Blue Bloods. You got to go to Duke on Saturday, and then it's Carolina. So let's talk about this Duke team that they're not unbeatable, but they are on a roll. They've won 6 in a row. They're 11-2 in the conference. Everybody saw them pull it out at Carolina, and they did a little number on Florida State the other night. State didn't shoot the ball very well.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're very potent offensively, and they do a really good job of getting out in the passing lanes defensively. A lot of talent there, but I think our guys will be ready for the challenge. We come in with an older team that has obviously played there a couple of years ago when John and TJ were sophomores. It'll be a great experience for our younger guys to get in there and just let it rip, and we're playing really well right now, so why not go out there?
Seems like it was a long time ago that you opened the season at North Carolina.
Yeah.
And at the end of that game, I knew everybody wanted another shot. Well, now you get it, and a lot of folks had the luxury of playing Carolina this year without Cole Anthony. He's back. So what are the keys to getting a little payback on Monday, Scott?
Well, I think it's just that. It's controlling Cole Anthony. He's a volume shooter. He's gonna get his shots up. But for us, I think it's more a focus on us and doing what we do and sticking to that and sticking to our game plan and like Coach always says, stay solid defensively and let the offense come to us.
This team, even though it's taken some hits, the confidence is still there. And the end of the season, when you get through this weekend, it sets up fairly favorably. You get another shot. 9 o'clock game, at least this one's at home against Florida State.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot there. I did look up the net rankings today, and in the net rankings you're 52, and in the BPI you're 50.
Yeah.
So you keep making strides into that bubble area. You just got to pull out some of these games.
No, absolutely. I mean, got to finish these games, especially we get some opportunities at home. We'll play Duke on Saturday, and then we'll get Carolina Monday and Miami that Sunday, and every game is important. And I think our guys know that, and it's nice to keep playing when you're playing well, and I think we're going to continue to get better. We have good guys, and they'll be ready to roll.
Gentlemen, thank you again, folks. You just joined us. Coach Brey couldn't make it tonight, but he sent Scott Martin and Ryan Ayers. So have you already decided this will be the favorite part of your head coaching duties down the road, the radio shows?
Yeah, if we could do it with you, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
And Elijah, again, great job.
Yeah, great job.
It'll be great to have you around for the next 4 years. That's going to do it, folks. Thank you so much for coming on out, watching and listening tonight. Notre Dame and Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium, 4 p.m. on Saturday, the pregame show here on the Notre Dame Basketball Radio Network 340. So until then, drive safely leaving O'Rourke's tonight, folks. Everybody stay warm and go Irish.
The Mike Brey Radio Show at O'Rourke's Public House was presented by the experts at TireRack.com and is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Gatorade, Canon, by Vivid Seats, St. Joseph Health System, South Bend Orthopedics, by West Bend Insurance, First Source Bank, by IBEW, and by Papa John's.
Okay, folks, we have a full complement of gear this week. Last week we gave away the hats. Our assistant coaches each picked a